Hi guys, my name is Sierra. I am one of the client solution specialists here at SkuVault. The purpose of this video is to try and make our lives easier while implementing this platform. We all know how stressful it can be to integrate a new system, let alone one as robust as SkuVault is. There are so many different ways to utilize this software, so let's dig into the functionality and hope you'll find some options that best fit your business practices. The first thing I want to start out here is our initial setup for the system, and all of our initial setup is going to be under the admin tab. So brands, supplier statuses, suppliers, and classifications will all need to be created before importing products or bulk creating your products. So brands here, you can manually create brands such as Nike. You can create this brand. It's going to tell me that the brand already exists. You can as well bulk import brands, classifications, and suppliers. So again, here are our item classifications. You can create your new classification here. And the same with suppliers. You can create your suppliers here as well. And it's the same as brands and classifications. You just type in your supplier and create your new supplier. You can bulk import these three as well. Admin importing, and we can scroll down to the bottom here, and we're going to create new classifications, new brands, and create new suppliers. Something to note about our imports is every single import has required headings. So for our classification import, we have a required heading as classification and then attribute name. We can go back to our admin importing page so that you can see the imports for brands and suppliers as well. So if we come down here and create new brand, this import requires brand name. All of our imports we provide with a downloadable CSV template. And all of our templates will include all of the required headings and optional headings. None of the imports that I've shown you so far has had any optional headings, but they have had required fields. To move on, we want to set up our warehouses and locations as well. So something to note with our warehouses and locations is our warehouses, you can create a new warehouse. The warehouse code you cannot ever change. It will stay that way. So you want to go in alphanumerical order with warehouse code. Your warehouse name, you can change these warehouses names, but the code again will always stay. You can never change that code, so you want to make it the most alphanumerical warehouse code that you can for each one of your warehouses. If you have an external warehouse, you can choose this box, and when you're creating your warehouses, it will create an external warehouse as well. Once you have your warehouses created, if you only have 1 or 5, it doesn't matter. We can go in and create our locations. So there are a couple of different types of locations within SkuVault. We have a regular picking location that your pickers will be picking from. We have backstock locations. Before creating a backstock location, you want to make sure you have this checkbox checked. And what a backstock location is for kind of overstock items that you still want to have that inventory push out to your marketplaces. We also have reserve locations, and reserve locations are locations that we will not push quantities out to your marketplaces for. And again, you just want to make sure you have those check boxes clicked before creating that location. We can create the location. And add that location. So now when I come down in here and search for that create location, I search it, and it is created, and it shows me that it is checked with a reserve location. So with locations, you can again bulk import locations. Scroll down, create new locations. Again, we provide a downloadable CSV template, and this is one of the imports that do have required fields, which is warehouse and location. And the optional fields or the optional headings that we have are as if they are reserved, backstock, or if you want to put a location note in. Our next thing that I would like to speak to you about is creating locations. So the way SkuVault works, but you can definitely filter different ways, but is usually alphanumerical locations. You want to set up your locations starting with zeros, because if you ever have any aisles or shelves that are above 10, the zeros will allow those locations to come first before the 10, 11, and 12. So we always want to put zeros at the beginning of our numbers or locations so that we can go further into the numbers with 10, 11, 12, 13s, and so on and so forth. Our next topic would be over the workflow. We have a couple of different workflow options here, so whatever is best with your company, we can definitely accommodate for that. Our settings page is where we set up workflows. So under the pick and quality control option, right now we are set to auto pick on QC. So what that means is at the time of picking, when they're grabbing those products from the location, they're not going to have anything in their hands, maybe except for a pick list. Once they're done grabbing the physical items off the shelf, they'll navigate in under sales and quality control. And this is where you will scan your sale ID as well as your products, so that when you're on Pick on QC, the products will then be quality controlled as well, taken out of the system, so that will apply your picks and pass transactions. Another workflow setting is called QC on pick. So what that means is you would rather have your pickers have a tablet in their hand, and we can go and pick so I just turned on QC on pick here. That is our pick mode, and what this will do is your picker will navigate to inventory pick, and here they will select which warehouse they want to be picking from. They will scan the code or SKU of the product. They will scan the location that they are picking it out of, as well as the quantity that they need for this particular order, and the sale ID that this product is being ordered for. This process will then pick and quality control and complete your order at the time of pick. So this is the only page that your picker needs to be on. Nothing needs to be done after this order is completed through this page. All it needs to be done is shipped out. So the next workflow option that we have is the traditional workflow option. So this separates your picks and your quality control. Again, under settings, we are going to turn the pick on QC off and just go with simple. And now what this means is your picker will navigate to the inventory pick page. They will here select their warehouse, scan their SKU or code, the location and the quantity, and pick the item. After they do that, they're going to go to sales, quality control, and then they will scan that order number again and quality controlling those products that were picked previously from the picker. We also have another workflow option called wave picking. Wave picking will route you around your warehouse like a snake. It's really good for multi-item orders. When you have a multi-item order, you can put like 5 multi-item orders on a wave picking session, and that will route you like a snake around the warehouse instead of having to backtrack, go back and forth from location A to location D, back to location A. So within wave picking sessions, we're going to go to Inventory, Create Session. We're going to choose which warehouse that we want to be picking from. And there are a couple of different ways to search for your orders. You can manually search. And with this manual search, it allows you to use a filter. So right now it defaults to items that are not in progress. Nothing has been printed. You usually never want to print printed orders on a session, as that usually means that they have already been printed and already been processed through the system. And our status for the orders are always defaulted to ready to ship. There are other filters down here that you can filter for, such as weight. Maybe somebody has a weight restriction at the moment and can only pick up things for 5 pounds or less. So we can put that weight in as well, and we can do less than 5 pounds. Another option would be maybe you want to get your shipping methods out first, so maybe you have expedited shipping or other types of shipping methods that you would like to get out before your regular orders. That's an option there too. So now with our filter settings, if we scroll down, we have a couple of orders that we can put on the wave picking session. So I am going to put 4 orders on my wave picking session, and what that means is I need a cart and 4 boxes for my cart for these orders. So I select these cells and preview my session. I can create the session and start creating another one. I can create the session and start picking immediately. Alright, so I went ahead and started my wave picking session, and what this will do is it's going to tell me which warehouse that I'm in. It should be the one that you selected on the session. It's going to tell you how many to get. It'll tell you for what spot. Again, I had 4 orders on this session. I should have 4 spots. This one's telling me to go to spot 1. And then the location that I need to be routed to is location A1. So I will, again, scan my product, scan my location. So my product is my socks. My location is A1. And I'm going to pick that. So this shows me my last item picked was the product and the spot that it went into. And again, here it's asking for a quantity of 1, so I will again scan my product and then scan my location, and it will move me to the next product that's on those orders. Right now I don't have any available, so it's showing me that 2 are picked and 16 are unavailable. So those are our main workflow options. We do have an internal option that only support users can get to, which is full auto remove. This has to be turned on by a SkuVault agent to auto remove these orders once they have been shipped out and we receive that completed sale status. On to integrations. So under admin and channel accounts, This is where you set up your integrations here. You can search for your account type. Let's say that we're going to integrate eBay. If I create this new account, you're going to hit your Get Token. You're going to fill out all of your information, and once you have done that, we don't want to turn any settings on until we get all of our products in and all of our inventory in, and I will show you again how to do that as well. But we can go ahead and set up your integrations so that they will be ready to be turned on once we get all of our inventory and our products in. So a couple of things to note about integrations is there are different types of syncs. So every single integration that we have will have a full inventory sync and a regular inventory sync. The regular inventory sync is for any products that has had transactions made to them within that 5 to 7 minute sync. The sync does run every 5 to 7 minutes that we are pushing out the correct available quantity. I will show you that as well here within the catalog here in a minute. The full inventory syncs, these run every 12 hours. Some of our integrations you can set at what time you want to set this 12-hour mark for. Others just run once it's turned on and the sync just starts to run. And really that's just kind of for a cushion to make sure that all the available quantities are being pushed out correctly to your marketplaces, just in case there hasn't been a transaction made to one of your products. We're still going to force sync those available quantities to your marketplaces as well. We have order syncs. Order syncs pull orders in directly from the marketplace. So something to note about that is if you have ShipStation pulling in orders, we don't want to pull orders as well from Shopify because ShipStation is going to be pulling those orders as well. So that would cause duplicate orders. We don't want to do that. So either you want to either bring your orders in directly from the marketplace or only from either like something like Channel Advisor or your shipping platform so that orders don't get duplicated. Something else to note is that some of our integrations do have product pulls. Channel Advisor has a product pull and Amazon has a product pull. So with product pulls, you don't want to turn all of your product pulls on. If you have the same products in different marketplaces, you really only want to use one product pull to pull over your products, because if you have multiple product syncs on, it's just going to keep flip-flopping your products back and forth between those integrations, which is going to cause a lot of server spikes inside of our servers, and that won't be good. So we want to just make sure that we only have one product pull sync on, and again, only one source of orders, either directly from the marketplace or from your channel management system or your shipping software. The next thing I want to get into is your catalog. So catalog, view catalog. These are our products that we have created. We can create products by either catalog create product. So there are 4 required fields with creating your products, and that was the kind of the setup that we first started talking about, which was the brands, the classifications, and suppliers. So your code here, if this is left blank, it will auto-generate your SKU. You can put your SKU in here, your part number for your product, the title of your product. You can select your brand because they've already been created, Your classifications, again, you can select your classification because it has already been created in the initial setup. And as well with your suppliers, you can create your supplier because that has been set up as well already. So the brands, classifications, and suppliers, again, are very important to have set up before you go in and start creating your products. We have a couple of optional fields over here to the right, which is cost, retail price, sale price. Those are all your costs for your products. The weight for your products, we do push weight out to ShipStation if you're using ShipStation, so that's a good field to have just for your shipping platform to know how much things weigh. That's one less thing you have to do when you get into the shipping part. Incremental quantities, this is a quantity of how much your supplier makes you order. My best example is if you order socks. So socks usually come in 3 packs or 6 packs or 10 packs. So if that's the case, your incremental quantity would be 3, 6, or 10. A reorder point, what this is a point where if you ever fall below this point, you want our reporting system to tell you to order X amount to get back up to your reorder point. So an example would be maybe you want 10 to be your reorder point and you sell 5 within that month. Well, our reporting system is going to tell you to order 5 more to get back up to that 10 that you have set for that reorder point. MOQs is a maximum or minimum order quantity. So this is what your supplier requires you to order from them. And so maybe they have that sock pack that has 3 in it, but they also require you to order 5 of those packs. So the incremental quantity would be 3 and the MOQ would be 5 because I had to order 5 packs of those 3 to get the discount that I'm going to get. You can put notes in here as well, but that is definitely just for your use, maybe some external reporting that you want to use. And another way to create your product, so this is manually creating a product. You can also bulk import products as well. Admin importing, create new products. With this, the required headings, again, we do provide a downloadable CSV template for every single one of our imports. The required headings are code, SKU, title, and classification. We do have the optional headings down here. If you're not going to utilize them, you can delete them out of the file, but if you do want to use them, keep them there and just use these kind of directions that we give you here. So if they're left blank, they can be left blank. If you want to use a weight unit, you will have to use the pounds, kilograms, ounces, or grams, and so on and so forth. So we do give some helpful hints on the optional headings that you can utilize within this import. So once you've got your products created within SkuVault, the next thing to do is to get your inventory in. So let's talk about our inventory a little bit here. So this incoming quantity are on active POs that have not been received into the system yet, so they are incoming. Our on-hand quantity is the quantity that is physically sitting on the shelves. The pending quantity means that there are quantities for these products on sales. And then what we push out is this available quantity. So we have 8 on hand, we have 1 pending, so we're going to push out 7. Here we have 19 on hand of this product. We have 3 pending on some sales, and we are pushing out the 16. So on hand minus pending equals the available of what we are pushing out to your marketplaces. Something else to note about products as well is there are details over here to the side. you can edit these details as well here. You can edit those MOQs or retail prices and other things on the catalog page. As well, you can update your products using an import, which would be update product details. Something to note about updating products is that you always want to use the reference so that the system knows what to search. So let's say that you want to change the code of one of your products. So we would always want to have the SKU in the very first column so that SkuVault knows what we are referencing. We want to change the code, we want to put the SKU first, and vice versa. So maybe you want to change the SKU of a product. You can do that, but you want to put that code column first so that SkuVault knows what you're referencing. And again, we do provide those optional fields that you can update as well with this import. I want to show you the View Sales page. This View Sales page is going to show you all of your ready-to-ship orders within the date range selected. It defaults to the last week. We can always change these date ranges. We can go back as far as we want. Hopefully you don't have any ready-to-ship sales all the way back until a couple months before. And also, most of our columns and pages are searchable. You can select and change date ranges and other things like that. So if I want to look at today's orders first, then we can definitely change this date range to have today's orders show first, or maybe I want to see the latest orders, the oldest orders that I have that are in ready to ship. So if we click on one of these, we can come in and look at the sales information. The sales information will show you exactly where the order came from, the sale ID of it, what sales status is it in, and as well the products that were ordered with the quantity. These helpful tabs up here show you that the sale was created, who it was created by, and then as well as other transactions made within this sale. So it will show you picks and passes as well. So this is a good place to revert back and figure out what happened to the sale within the sales information page. The sale information page can be gotten to as well by going to sales information right under the view sales. We do have some exporting options as well. So we do have a very robust importing system as well as an exporting system. So our exporting system has the available inventory. You can just look total available inventory. You can look at inventory quantities by location or inventory quantities by warehouse. You can export if you have any external warehouse quantities or any external warehouses. You can export those. You can toggle between your warehouses, so which ones do we want to include and which ones we don't want to include. I can include all of them, or I can just include a few of them. We can export your product details. These are options down here of what you want to include. Maybe you want to have all of your product details including quantity as well. You can export those here. Maybe you want to include your FBA quantities as well with your product details. Some other good exports that we have are the historical inventory. Something to note about the historical inventory, it is not going to give you historical cost, as we are an inventory management system. We are not an accounting software, so we're only going to hold that historical inventory and not historical cost. So just a quick overview. We talked about creating our brands, our classifications, and our suppliers. We also went through and talked about creating our warehouses and locations with the alphanumerical scheme. as well as adding zeros if you're ever going to get up to anything in the 2 digits, 10 to 15, 20s, as well as that'll help the sorting through pick lists and other things like that. We have talked about the different types of locations: picking locations, backstock location, reserve locations. We do as well have a container location. A container location is a movable location that you can move all the products from one parent location to another parent location with the same container. So I want to touch on that before I let you guys go here as well. We can add inventory. There's a couple of different ways that we can add inventory. We can do an inventory add. So again, you would select your warehouse, you would scan or type in the product here, scan or type in the location. You can create reasons to add. You can just simply add, and then you can add the quantity of what you're adding as well. There is a bulk import if you want to import your quantities. We can import update inventory quantities. And again, so something to note about this is you probably only want to use this update inventory quantities one time, your initial setup. As using this import, it's going to overwrite any existing quantities for products that you have on this sheet. So this is a good file to just use one time, just to get your initial quantities in, and then use other importing or maybe audit features that we have as well. So we can do an inventory audit. Once we do an inventory audit, you can select your warehouse, select the location. So everything is going to come up in this location that lives here: the code, the SKU, and the quantities here. So there's a couple of ways to manipulate your data and your inventory quantities here. You can click on this edit pencil. You can add a quantity of 10 here. I can update that, and it's going to update to 99. I can remove that quantity of 10 here, and it's going to go back down to 89. Or I can just simply put in a whole new total, and it'll update there as well. Something else that you can do here within this inventory audit page is a location count. Location count, you can, when you do this, this is going to count all of your scans. So if you're using a scanner, you're going to scan every single product that lives in this location, as it will overwrite all of your quantities and your SKUs that live in this location. That's something to note here, is this is another overwrite functionality that we have. And once you get all of your inventory quantities in, your products created, your warehouse set up, we will be able to turn on syncs. So again, once you have all of that in place and ready to go, you're sure that your inventory quantities are accurate and you're ready to go live. You have already set up your integrations. We just hadn't turned any of them on yet. You're ready to turn order syncs on and inventory syncs, as well as your other syncs for any of your marketplaces that you have. So we are looking forward to getting you up and started, and thank you for your time, and I hope that this launch process goes as smoothly as it possibly can for you, and thank you. We're happy to have you.